Hello and welcome. My name is Tara, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the real secrets for manifestation. Now, you may have caught some of my other videos where I talked a lot about manifestation, a lot of tips and practices for your manifestation journey, but I'm going to reiterate some of those messages that I talked about, or some of those key points that I highlighted in other videos, and I'm going to compile more information here because this is a very focused area that I tend to work on, especially with helping others become deliberate, conscious creators of their reality, of our reality. And that really is the key point of our existence, of being a human. It's starting to turn around the ability from being a unconscious creator, of allowing for the universe or allowing for life just to haphazardly move us around, or operating by subconscious belief patterns that have been ingrained, to move into conscious creation, to be aware of the patterns that we're living in, to be aware of what we can change and what we can transform from, so that we can move more into a life that we desire. Now, manifestation, as I mentioned, is the act of creating. So there's the law of attraction, where we get to work with the energy of ourselves, the energy of our intention, of the vibrational frequency that we are sending out into the universe. But then the manifestation comes from the act, from acting and building and creating. Now, you may have caught some of my other content pieces as well with regards to the lunar cycles. And this is something I work with to give a blueprint and to give a plan for manifestation. Now, we also have to be very aware that manifestations can take time. It depends on where you are in your journey. We all have different timelines. We all have different stories. We all have different belief systems. Some of us have common threads. But there's a big misconception going around on the internet, on YouTube, for example, on other social media channels that offer quick tips for quick manifestations. Manifest fast, manifest your dreams in 1 week. But the thing is we all have different experiences. We all have different belief systems to some degree. Some of us have very similar ones, but we still have our individual journey. We're not all exactly the same. So if we follow some of these guidelines, a lot of us may not actually achieve those manifestations in a short period of time, because we have the belief systems that are going to be different than other people. Some people are going to be in a place where they can manifest very fast because they're ready. They're in a place to create that manifestation. It's also very important to know the type of manifestation that you want. If it's a big ask, a big dream, and I always say go big with your manifestations. But if it's a big manifestation, there also has to be a realistic viewpoint on, or a realistic understanding of all the steps that are going to be required to create that larger manifestation, that larger ask, your big dreams, goals, and desires. Now, you can manifest something smaller, like maybe a new relationship or an art project, doing something that may be fulfilling, that you might enjoy. Or you can start with something big. But then again, there has to be a realization of the steps required, or the steps that are going to be needed to create that manifestation. Now, there are so many different stages and steps for creating your goal, for creating your dreams and desires. Some of those may include assessing the emotional well-being or emotional state, the internal belief system, confidence, mindset, old subconscious belief systems, and then the act of doing it. So it's not just a one-shot thing. It's multi-dimensional. It's a multi-dimensional experience regarding the energy that we have to work with, the energy within us, the ability to act and create. So many of you may know of my moon manifestation workshops that I've held, and of course my videos that do follow the moon cycles and how to manifest with them. And the reason why I love it is that it offers a blueprint and it offers a bit of structure for manifestation, and it hits a lot of these key points that we can use for creation. So it's part energy work, it's part us showing up and doing the work. So I'm going to walk you through the stages. I've done this before in other videos, but it's always good to just have a reminder on the different steps and all of the different aspects for creation and manifestation. And again, don't get discouraged if your manifestation isn't showing up quickly. We all have a timeline that we're on. Part of it is divine timing. Part of it is the timeline that we're on that needs to happen, the experiences that we have to go through, maybe some karmic ties that we have to complete or some karmic loops that we have to complete. Maybe something that we're supposed to understand and learn through, maybe some difficult times. And I've been going through this myself. I've been going through very, very difficult time over the last few years, and I would love for things to move faster, but that's not the case. I needed to change a lot within myself to prepare myself for the manifestation that I want. And that took years. Everyone has a different journey, and I've had a lot of work to do. I've had a lot of internal work to do to prepare me and to put me in a place so that I can be ready and I can create properly. So this is a process, and I'm coming from a place of meaningful creation that's going to stick, creation that's going to last for the long term, and creation that's going to weather all storms, not be a superficial creation. This is manifestation that's going to be meaningful and impactful, and that very well could make a difference in the world. So the lunar cycles, I'm going to go in and I'm going to discuss the different stages and how to use the stages for manifestation. And even if you don't follow the lunar cycles, you can use some of these key points for your creation, for your manifestation. Now remember, I'm not a firm believer of quick manifestations, although I have seen many people create their manifestations very quickly using this format. But they have had very simple or very direct manifestation goals. For example, wanting to buy a specific house and visualizing it and knowing that's exactly what they wanted to buy. Or calling in love in a relationship, but then they had to put themselves out there. They had to really work for it, but then they called it in pretty quickly. So again, everyone is on a different journey. The clearer that you are with what you want and the more focused that you are with what you want, again, the easier it's going to happen. You're going to be able to make choices that are going to be in alignment with your manifestation. You're going to know what to do, and you're going to be open for synchronicities. And that is a really important part of this process for manifestation, for creation, is when you're in the ability for creation, when you're in the energy of creation, then you're opening the doors for synchronicities. You're opening the door for opportunities to also find you. And the more in alignment you are with your values and what you want, the easier it's going to be to discern. Some opportunities are going to show up that might not suit you and that might not align with your goal or might not fit perfectly, but you'll know. You'll know which ones to take, you'll know which ones to pass. So looking at the lunar cycles. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the new moon. I cover this a lot. I focus mostly on the new moon and the full moon in these videos for creation, for transformation. And remember, a lot of our journey, a lot of our creations start from within. Start from our belief system, start from our subconscious programs, start from our energy, our feelings, our thoughts. It all starts with the thought. However, the thoughts come from our internal belief system, come from a deeper place. So it's all connected, and we have to learn and observe and understand our deeper system so that we can create more, so that we can create our dreams and desires. Now, the new moon is all about intentions. And when we set our intentions, it comes from a place of aligning with what we want. The internal knowing, the visualization, the feeling of what we are drawn towards, what we want to create from a deeper place of meaning. Once we cast our intentions into the universe by speaking into the universe, by writing it down on paper, by visualizing through meditation, we are setting the intention. We are setting the course of action for our manifestations. This is a little bit like the Fool in the tarot. It's the leap of faith. It's our 0 point. And when we're connected with our 0 point, that's the intent that moves us forward towards our creation. Now, the first week after the new moon is the waxing crescent. And this is a time for the visualization and aligning from an energetic standpoint with the manifestation that you want. So it's great to do meditation. It's great to do visualization work. You can do a mood board, you can do a mind movie, you can have a meditation, go into meditation and visualize the feeling of you living in your future reality, of the manifestation that you want. If you're wanting a new home, you can visualize how the house looks in all the rooms, in the cupboards, the view out the window, what it smells like, what you can hear. So all of these pieces visualizing. If it's a relationship, visualizing the type of relationship, how this person makes you feel, how you feel together, what they look like, maybe from just a very vague point, but you can get as detailed as you want as well. It depends on your visualizations. We all have different journeys. So then in the waxing crescent, this is very much of that alignment. It's very much of the intention setting. Then we go to the first quarter, and the first and the last quarter are very much of actions. All these phases are extremely important. The first quarter is a time to develop your action plan. So you set your intentions into the universe. You have become clear around what you want. And again, new moons is that time for creation, is time to set that intention into the universe, because there's no sun touching the earth from the moon at night. So we have a clean slate. We have peace, we have quiet, we have stillness. And so we're starting to create, we're starting to energetically align with what we want. And then we move into the first quarter where there's the action plan that's implemented and developed. So you set your intentions, it's all energy work, and then you develop a plan. What can you commit to for building out your goals? Now, again, if you have a larger ask, if you have a larger dream, you have to be very aware of the steps that are going to be required for you to build out that goal. And be open for change. Be open for learning through this process. Because again, there's a lot to uncover within ourselves. The moon is very potent around the emotions, around our intuition and creation. So we learn a lot about ourselves going through this process. And there's going to be changing and adapting as we move along through this process. Because again, you're going to discover and uncover more about yourself. So after the action plan has been developed, so if you're wanting to meet someone new, then maybe develop a plan and commit to going out to meet people, maybe dating, maybe socializing, whatever it is, whatever your goal is. If it's a new business, if it is a creative project, what can you do to build it out? And then in the waxing gibbous, moving towards the full moon, we have a week of receiving. So you're going to be working on your actions, but the energetic work as well is going to be receiving, calling it in, being comfortable receiving, opening the door for you to receive your manifestations, and being confident and comfortable with receiving abundance and love and success and fulfillment and whatever your manifestations are. Because a lot of us have resistance or subconscious beliefs around worth, around receiving fully, and around abundance. So that's why this stage is very important. We must feel comfortable receiving. We must feel comfortable in our worth. We must feel comfortable being open for the success that we want. And sometimes we may want great success, but there may be fear around it. There may be fear of the level of success that we might achieve. There might be fear around really accepting money. There might be fear or resistance or uncertainty around holding on to wealth and creating a stable lifestyle that you want. So we all have different belief systems. They all come from somewhere, but this is really, again, going down into our deeper practice. So when the full moon comes, this is the time where we release any of those limitations, any of those blockages, any of those limiting beliefs, any attachments. We let them go. And sometimes by the time of the full moon, people have seen their manifestations start to come to life, because the moon is also a revealer. A lot of energy comes to the surface. The energy moves within us, so we do have an opportunity to really release some deep programs or beliefs or energies that may be surfacing at this time. But it is also a great time to release any situations or release from situations that may be holding us back. And of course, yes, there could be reveals. There could be your manifestations already starting to show around the full moon. Then moving out of the full moon into the waning gibbous is the slow movement now back into the new moon phase. So this is a time in the waning gibbous where you want to be very aware of the emotions, the thoughts, and old stored memories, for example, that might be surfacing, because full moons are quite intense and it does bring up a lot of energy to the surface. So we get a bit of a shakeup, and depending on the type of full moon it is and what zodiac sign it resides in, then the energy is going to be different. It all depends on, again, you, your journey, the zodiacs that are tied to it. But it's going to shake up a lot of energy and, again, stored energy within. So there's a week where there may be fatigue, there may be old emotions surfacing, there may be discomfort, there may be anger, frustration, sadness, there may be tiredness, there may be nothing. But it's a great time to be aware of where the mindset is, what is surfacing, where are the emotions at, how are my energy levels. And then when we go to the last quarter, that is, again, is an action phase. And it's a very important phase. All the phases are important, but this one's very important for addressing those thoughts, those energies, those limitations, or anything else that's surfacing, and maybe any fears or any negativity or anything that's holding us back, and turning them into a positive. So flipping the script and flipping the narrative on our old limiting beliefs. That's why this system is so important, because it chips away at our old belief system. It chips away at the way that we've been operating for our lifetime or more. And so we go into, what is holding me back? What are the negative thoughts? What are my negative emotions like? Is there sadness? Is there being a victim? Am I attracting the wrong people? Am I in despair? Am I negative? Am I fearful? So, for example, for years I felt that I was not being supported by the universe. It's going through a really difficult time. So I would write down, I'm not being supported by the universe. I would write it down, cross it out, and flip it into a positive. I am being supported by the universe. And then my energy would change. My ego held on to the old mindset for a long time. I'm not being supportive. Life is so difficult. Why am I still here? I held on to that for a long time, but now I don't have that thought anymore. I switch it into a positive. This is how the work is done. But it takes time, and we rewire our mindset. We rewire our belief system that becomes so ingrained in us. And again, we become so accustomed to it, and we feel that it's real. And the ego loves to hold on to that. So it is, again, chipping away at it and reframing the mindset, reframing the emotions, and starting to separate from what we've been familiar with for a long time. And then we go into the waning crescent, the final phase of the lunar cycle, where it's just all about letting go. It's all about letting go and surrendering. Not to give up on the work, and not to let go of the actions or of the work, but to let go of the pressure and to let go of the strain and expectations, and to just be, and to accept everything that has changed, and to accept what has happened to you or for you over the last lunar cycle. And to be open for more, to be open for the universe to provide. And then we start again. So those are the key pieces. And if you use them with the lunar cycle or not, it's going to give you a really great framework for your manifestation, and to go deeper into your practice and to start to create the life that you want, starting from within. Because the most meaningful creations and the most meaningful manifestations start here, start from deep within. We have to address what needs to be let go of, and we need to step away from patterns of the past to open up for more, to open up for a greater ability to create. So again, you can try any of the tips out there on the internet, on YouTube, on any other social media channel. I always encourage to try. There's no harm in trying different varieties. I've tried many, but they didn't work because I wasn't in the right place. I wasn't ready, and I had to go deeper with my practice. And that's why I specialize in this, because a lot of us, if we're human, we have to go deeper. We have to start to dismantle the old belief systems and the old layers within us, so that we can open up for a greater experience, so that we can open up for greater manifestations. So this whole process offers the ability to deepen our practice, to create greater self-awareness within ourselves. And the ego and the old way of operating and the 3D is all around time. When am I going to get this? Why don't I have it already? When is it going to happen? Getting frustrated, getting angry, but not seeing the bigger picture. And we are multidimensional. We have so many factors playing out in our life at any given time. Past life, this life, ancestors. I mean, what's happened in this life alone has been huge. And where we're going is we're in this incredible transformation. We're in this incredible transitionary phase. And we are given this ability to shape our reality. Can you imagine even a lifetime ago, in maybe your parents' lifetime or your grandparents' lifetime, a lot of them didn't have this ability to do this work. Now you're in this time where you can do this work and you can really shape your reality from a meaningful place, from starting to align with who you really are, what you really want to create, being aware of your thoughts, your energy, your emotions, your subconscious work. You're going to have a far deeper experience than you've ever had before doing this work, but probably more deeper than a lot of your family members or your ancestry. Because again, we're in a place where we're breaking cycles, we're cycling out old energy, we're opening up for a higher state of consciousness, for a greater ability to create, but it takes time. It's very fluid. There are so many different dimensions to this and so many different layers within us that need to be addressed. So I hope this helped you with your journey. Again, don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to experiment. But the key is going deeper within to understand what you really want, who you really are, being aware of the thoughts, being aware of the emotions, and getting ready to do the work for manifestation, for creating the life you want, for what you desire most. I am going to be hosting a workshop to work with manifestation, the practices of manifestation, understanding all the different layers within us, and talking more about the lunar cycles. So you can have it for your practice and you can work on it at your own pace. The workshop is going to be about 2 hours long or so. I'm going to leave a link below, so hopefully you can join. Otherwise, I'm wishing you all the best with your journey and beyond, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Take care.